So you come from King Williamstown. You're doing everything art right now.
Yeah.
But let's talk about life in King Williamstown, because a lot of people don't even know where King Williamstown is.
Yeah.
I know where it is because we pass there all the time. You know,
And
driving.
now uyathetha.
Wena look.
Also me.
Yeah, you see.
Ayakhuluma.
Yeah, so tell us about life in King Williamstown, as well as you know, some of the things you were thinking of when, you know, growing up there.
Okay, like growing up as a kid in King Williamstown, obviously your dreams, there will be a point whereby you feel like there is a limit, you know. You have to set a limit on how you dream and all that, just because of the things that we are surrounded by and the people that we are surrounded by. Because first of all, there are no resources. There's not enough of resources that we can utilize, you know. But then I've always been that person who always believed in what's within, you know. Yeah, so it was an amazing journey growing up, because I am coming from a loving family, you know. I was raised by my mother and my father, you know. Like, I grew up like any other kid. I experienced love, I experienced hate, I experienced all those things. But then at the age of 13, that's when I decided, okay, no, who is Lolo, you know, because my name is Zuxole Ngetune, but then where I grew up, they couldn't pronounce my name properly, so my parents decided to name me Lolo. They said, okay, no, let's just call you Lolo. You are just Lolo. Wherever you go, whoever asks you who you are Lolo. You don't tell them that you are Zuxole, because they're gonna forget, you know. So what I did, as I grow up, I experienced a lot of things, you know, like street cred and all that. So what we did is we fused two characters, Ulolo and Vandal, which is Ulolo, the boy that comes from that home, you know, that loving home, and the boy who's a dreamer and all that, and then Vandal, the boy that experienced the street life, because we were spending nights, you know, like trying to master the art, you know. We were out there hustling, because at some point when you grow up you have to make money, because 2008 I started working at Debona's Pizza on weekends, you know, just to make some extra cash so that I can be able to push and fund my career, you know. But then I had to drop out 2010 when I was doing grade 12, you know. Yeah, and then
Drop out of Debonair's.
Yeah. I had to focus on, because because my father didn't like that thing of me knowing how to
old
make.
were you when you started working at Debonair's?
I was 14.
14. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like he didn't like that, because he was like, you're gonna expose yourself into how to make money, and then, you know, you're gonna dump and dish like all your studies. And
Yeah, some
you know,
some parents think that, right? They think that when you as soon as you start making a little bit of money, you will neglect education.
But then I always I'm one person who's open. I will tell you if I'm not comfortable with this, you know, or this is how I feel, this is what I believe, this needs to happen for me to be happy, for me to be where I want to be tomorrow, you know. So after grade 12 I studied social sciences at the University of Fort Hare, and then I had to drop out like after second year, because I couldn't, you know, proceed with my studies and all that. But I already started radio there. They were not happy when I was like dropping out, but they understood that this is what had to happen that time, you know. So I relocated from Eastern Cape. 2015 I came to Joburg, and then this side I came, like the main thing that I came to do is music, you know. So I would get your piece jobs. I've been a salesman at dance, and then I also came and went to Debonair's again. I was like, guys, I know how to do this.
I know how to make pizza,
you know,
guys.
from scratch. I know, from cleaning to serving a customer and all that, you know. But then those jobs couldn't last, you know, because the dream was always there. Like, Lolo, you came for music here. You cannot be comfortable, because you're gonna start making money, and then this music thing is gonna be a hobby, you know. So I focused on music. Now I have a studio here in Sentin. I'm making my music, and everything is coming good.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I'm taking from your story is, first of all, you know, you always had a plan. Like you always had a dream to say, you know, this is what I came here to do.
Yeah.
The other things are things I'm gonna do Solanka just to keep myself floating. Because a lot of people want to make it someone else's responsibility to keep you floating. You know, you're thinking, yes, I want to do this, but can you like just pay for my rent and my things and like it's gonna come? And then as soon as your dad's like, I don't have money for that, then you're like, now I have to go home because there's no money.
And bruh, speaking of that, when I was relocating to Johannesburg, Anita, I was studying at University of Fort Hare. So what I did, I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply at UJ so that I can at least have a place to stay. That was the plan, you know. And then my father wanted to sell his car, you know, for my studies and all that. But I was like, no, don't sell your car. Because the thing is, if I allowed him to do that, I was gonna have that responsibility of bringing back that degree because he had to sell his car.
What you mean.
You know, So I was like, no, don't sell your car, because after we realized that, okay, I couldn't get a bursary this side, you know. So my dream of finishing my studies at UG, they just vanished. So I was like, but I'm still going to Joburg, you know. And then that's when they got worried because I knew no one this side and all of that. And then I refused him selling his car because I didn't want that, because the major thing was you there for music, but you have a chance, you know, you can you qualify, you can be enrolled, you know, and be a student, and that way you won't stress about residence because you have a place to stay, you know. So
your game plan was you don't want anyone to guilt trip you, so you don't want any freebies, you don't want any handouts, you don't want any favors, because at the end of the day, when they now start having to have a say in terms of which career you pick, that's going to be a problem, because you don't think they will support this music thing as much as they're supporting education.
That's true.
And if they sell their car, they have a right to say,
hey, bring back. And my father is a straightforward guy, you know. If it does something,
bring back the money.
Hey, you know. So I had to be like, no, I'm taking like full responsibility of everything that I'm doing, so that I don't blame you when it does not work out. I don't come back and say, but you guys were supporting this, you didn't tell me that.
Tell me, Lolo, what did you think when you were leaving Grahamstown, coming to Joburg? What did you think is the worst that could happen?
I didn't think of anything negative, but a lot of things happened, you know.
What was the worst that happened?
Bruh, like I got a job, I was working with ETV, and then I got a job, like worked for 2 days. On my second day, I was mugged, like on my way home, you know, I was mugged, everything. And the worst part is, they wanted to take me inside this dungeon building, you know. And then I was like, guys, you took everything. Serious, you know. You took everything, you know. Now
they still want to take you too.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna be molested now. You know.
Shucks!
And it happened twice.
Oh no!
You know, it happened twice, but the second time it was like at gunpoint, and then I was like, shit, I came to Joburg. and you know, and this is what's happening now. But then those things, they gave me strength, because they opened me, because I was, when I was growing up, of course, from the hood, you will meet guys that will show you how to make quick cash, you know, and all that. So we were also influenced, and we did those things, you know. But the minute we were arrested, that's when I was like, I always wanted to be a musician. I cannot live this life. So after being in those holding cells for like 2 weeks and all that, I came back, and then I was like, guys, if you're gonna continue doing this, my friendship with you ends now. I have to focus on my music. Was
that in Joburg? I sorry, I missed that. That was in Grahamstown.
In King Williamstown.
In King Williamstown,
you know,
yes.
Yeah, when I was taking a gap year between, because I went to varsity 2012.
Yeah.
You know, I finished high school 2010. So 2011, I was around, you know. I was not doing anything because I didn't believe in applying and all those things. I was one of those guys, but after grade 12, I'm gonna be able to focus on my career now. At least my parents, they know I went to school.
You did your part.
You know,
Yeah, because sometimes what is put in front of you is just get your matric.
Yeah.
So then you thought, okay, matric is the finish line,
And then
you,
it's it.
yeah, I understand that completely.
Yeah, and
guys,
then-
we've run out of time, and that's what happens when the short. It's the shortest hour of the week, and I did tell you before we even started the show that was going to be that quick. Thank you guys so much for joining me.